Hi, this is Tamara at mooglyblog.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make the perfect fall poncho. This is a free pattern on mooglyblog.com, so for the full written pattern, definitely please go to mooglyblog.com. Links are in the description if you're not already on the site. So here I have the finished poncho. Of course, it's too big to show on a small screen like this. There are, again, full pictures on mooglyblog.com, perfect fall poncho, and you can see it as it looks worn. Here you see a close-up of the stitch pattern, and that's what I'm going to be demonstrating today. Let me move this out of the way. This pattern is made using Lion Brand Yarn's Fisherman's Wool, and you can see I have just this much left from the poncho that I made. I used almost 4 full skeins. So, Fisherman's Wool, it's a great Aran weight yarn, and I'm going to be using a J hook with this yarn today. Now, this pattern begins with 172 stitches, and in fact you'll have 172 stitches in each row as long as you count the chain stitches. What it is a multiple of 12 plus 4. So for our little swatch today, for the sake of time, I'm going to start with 16 stitches. So 12 plus 4. That 4 is split with 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end of every row. These are double crochets in every row. So the stitch pattern itself is just worked over the multiple of 12 in the middle. Now, to begin each half of the poncho, you're going to start with 2 rows of double crochet. So I've already made that here. Hopefully, if you're making this pattern, you already know how to double crochet. So I've got my 2 rows of double crochet. I'm going to start the next row. Now you can start this next row however you like. It's going to be another double crochet. You could do a chain 3, you could do a chain 2 and double crochet in the first stitch. You could do a chainless starting double crochet. There's a video for that also on my YouTube channel, so whichever you prefer. For the sake of time, because it's quickest, I'll do a chain 2 and double crochet in the first stitch. In this case, the chain 2 would not count as a stitch. Then I'll double crochet in the next stitch, and that'll be the 2 double crochets at the end. Now we're ready to start the main stitch pattern. Now for this row, what we're going to do, let me grab my pattern here. I am going to start with a chain 1. Then I'm going to skip the next stitch and work a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So double crochet in the next stitch and double crochet in the stitch after that. Then I am going to work a double treble around the skipped stitch, which is this one right here, as a front post stitch. So I'm going to yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3, like so. Then I'm going to go around the stitch I skipped right here. Let me pull that right into the center here, like so. Pull up a loop and yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And we finish our double treble there. All right, then it's time to chain 1 again, like so. And this time we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and work double crochets in the next 2 stitches. Okay, and then just as before, let me pull up a little more yarn here. We're going to yarn over 3 times. And this time we're going to work our double treble around the most recent skipped stitch. So this one stays skipped. You can kind of count this as the same as the chain 1. It gets skipped all together, but we're going to work our next stitch around this stitch. And you can see I like to fold them over when I'm working post stitches like this. Just makes it that much easier to keep a really good even tension on your tall stitch as you work it off the hook here, like so. Just keep yarning over and pulling through 2 until you're down to 1 loop on the hook. There we are. Then we chain 1, skip 2, 1, 2, and do it again. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches, like so. Yarn over 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Front post stitch around the most recent skipped stitch. And then we are at the end of this row. Essentially, we're going to skip this one right here and work double crochets in each of the last 2 stitches. Now, as you might remember, I said we started this little swatch with 16 stitches. So let's count our stitches here. Whoops. There we go. Got 1, 2, 3, the chain, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we still have 16 stitches and we know we're on the right track. Now, let's start our next row. Remember, we always end and begin with 2 double crochets. So I'll do that here. Get our first 2 stitches as double crochets. This just gives us a really nice border on the piece and also makes it a nice even edge to work our edging around into when we're all done. So for the next row, we're going to start the exact same way. We'll start with a chain 1. Then we skip over this one, which is the post stitch we worked there at the end of the last row. So we skip that one, work a double crochet into each of the double crochets we made in the previous row. 1, and go into that next one like so. And then this is the trickiest part. We're going to work a double treble back post stitch around the post stitch that we skipped, this one right here. You can see me kind of poking it from behind here. So let's yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Push those down on the hook a little bit. I'm going to use my finger here to hold those in place. And it's kind of hard to demonstrate, but I use my middle finger of my non-hook hand to hold that up out of the way so I can go around it like so. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then just as before, work them off 2 at a time. I know that was kind of hard to see, but don't worry, we're going to do it again. As soon as I finish that one, I'm going to chain 1, and then I come back here, and essentially I'm skipping that chain 1, I'm skipping the post stitch from before, and working a double crochet into the next 2 double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, and then it's time to do the double treble post stitch again. Yarn over 3 times, like so. Go to the front, now hold up that skipped post stitch. Get your hook back there, go around it from behind, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then work these loops off 2 at a time here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are. Chain 1. And then let's go to our last repeat for this swatch. Double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. Like so, there's the second one. Yarn over 3 times. Hands down, this is the trickiest part of this pattern. So if you can get this part down, you should be golden. Hold that stitch up, go around it, and see like so. Pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then we end this not by chaining 1. We chained 1 at the beginning. We don't end with a chain 1. We end by skipping this chain 1 space here and working into these last 2 double crochets. Again, we always finish off with 2 double crochets. All right, that part was pretty darn easy. Now, for the next row, these are the super easy ones. The next 2 rows are just solid double crochets, but you want to make sure that you're getting your right stitch count. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that part on camera here, even though it's just a row of double crochets. So what we're going to do is work our first 2 here, then make sure you go into the post stitch, then go into the 2 double crochets, like so. Then go in the chain 1 space. You could work into the chain 1 if you wanted to, but it's so much easier just to go into the chain 1 space. Then we're back to another post stitch. Then the next 2 double crochets. Then into, let's see here, chain 1 space. And then the post stitch are almost there. The next 2 double crochets. Okay, and then remember we had the chain 1 space there. And then the last 2 double crochets, and that should be 16 stitches. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So we know we have the right number of stitches. And this is the part of the pattern that creates that sort of arrow look. So after this, we do another round of double crochets, and I will see, or another row, I should say, not a round, we're working in rows, another row of double crochets, so I'll see you when those are done. All right, so here we are at the end of this row. See, I've got my 2 rows of double crochet here. This is on the back of the arrows. There we are. So I'm ready to turn again. Just as before, I'm going to start with 2 double crochets. Very first here, there we go. And now it's time to start our wrapped stitches. Now, if you haven't made wrapped stitches before, they are pretty darn easy, so don't be intimidated. We're going to skip the next stitch. Then I'm going to work double crochets in each of the 2 stitches after that. There was no chaining here. These go pretty darn quick. There we are. And then I'm going to do a wrapped double crochet around these 2 double crochets here. So I'm going to yarn over, and instead of going into a stitch, I'm going to go right into this space. Basically right here, even though there wasn't a chain, you can see there's a gap between the first 2 double crochets and the next 2, so I'm going to go right in there, kind of right over the skipped stitch, and just wrap my hook right around those stitches, and then finish it off as a double crochet, like so. See? And it creates that nice little sort of wrapped bundle there. So to do the next set, I'm going to skip the next stitch, work 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, 1 in each, and then I wrap around these 2. So right in that space above the skipped stitch, I just go right on through that space, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, just like a regular double crochet, like so. Let's do it 2 more times. We'll skip the next stitch, go in the next 2 with regular double crochets, then I yarn over and do a wrapped double crochet. Oops. There we go. All right, 1 more. Yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the next 2. 1 and 2. And then we do our wrapped one. Yarn over, go into that space, stick my hook all the way through to the back, pick up the yarn, pull the loop to the front, and finish the double crochet. And then of course we're at the last 2 stitches, and those are each just double crochets. All right, now that is all the tricky parts of this pattern. After this row, you would do another 2 rows of double crochet, then another row of these. At that point, you'll be heading back that way, so they'll be wrapping in the opposite direction. And then another 2 rows of double crochets, and then back to these guys. So you just work that's the basic stitch pattern. These are your setup rows, and then you do these 2, then double crochets, then a row of wrapped, 2 double crochets, a row of wrapped, then 2 more double crochets, and back to these. Again, the written pattern is on mooglyblog.com. That again is all the tricky parts. Just make it with the right number of stitches across, and then when you've got your 2 pieces, you will seam the top row of one piece and the bottom row of the second piece together, leaving a hole in the middle for the neck. Then you've got your little poncho. And that's all there is to the perfect fall poncho. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed what you've seen.